Hi, Movie Recap TV here. Today I am going to explain a movie called Village of the Damned, released in 1995. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. At exactly 10 a.m. all of the people and animals in town fall asleep. Dr. Allen came to the scenes confused and distressed. The military also appears in the town to help and find out what happened. Suddenly the clock strikes at 4 p.m. and everything seems back to normal again. Until a couple of weeks later every woman in town became pregnant. Even ones who weren't sexually active before. This causes panic and conflicts among people. Later the government decides to support the unexpected pregnancies. Susan informs the townsfolk that those who decide to have a child, the mother will be fully covered during the pregnancy, including $3,000 per month and free checkup for their healthy pregnancy. Considering the values of having babies, all the women agree to be mothers. As time goes on, all expecting women enjoy their pregnancy, from diet to pre-delivery classes when it's time to give birth. The town medical center becomes very busy. 1 by 1/5 boys and girls are born healthy. But one of the girls, Melanie's daughter, is stillborn. Susan secretly takes the dead baby to her laboratory after that as they grow older. Their intelligence is off the charts and they all have the same blonde hair. David is Jill's son and soon can spell his name. One morning Barbara is cooking soup for her daughter Mara. The girl gets angry because the soup is too hot. A moment later Mara seems to control her mother with her green eyes, making Barbara dip her hand into the boiling soup. In the hospital, Alan asks her about what happened. Barbara is not sure how to describe it. She becomes depressed after the incident. The following day Barbara throws herself to the cliff. Not only Barbara. There are more and more mysterious accidents or deaths in town. Parents are in a dilemma between unconditional love for their children and the fact that these children may not be 100% normal. As the children are 7 years old, the boys and girls are paired together like mates except for David, whose female partner died. All of them seemingly show psychic abilities. While the children are being checked up, the doctor accidentally irritates one girl's eyes. Mara immediately shows up in control the doctor's mind, making the doctor blind herself. As a principal, Jill thinks it is better for these children to have a special bond with his mother after growing up with the absence of his girl partner. Several days later, stillborn girl in the cemetery. David runs into Melanie, who keeps drowning herself after the death of her baby girl. David can see Melanie had planned to commit suicide as Alan also arrives to visit Barbara's grave. He tells David that the stillborn girl wasn't buried here. David then shares his condolences towards Barbara's death, which normally the children never do. After having a positive encounter with David, Alan decides to teach the children at school. When Alan gives his lesson, Jewel calls him to meet her in the office. The children orderly take out the books and start to self-study. Suddenly the janitor opens the door. He starts to accuse the children for their crime. When a man hits one boy in the room, the children feel threatened. As their eyes become green, 8 of them except for David. They've controlled the man step up the ladder. Their eyes turned red and the janitor also drops himself from the roof of the building. Alan and Joe rush out to save him. But it is too late. The children leave the class, making Alan and Jill believe that they are not human. The following day Alan decides to see Susan, telling her about his theory that the children must be the causes for all mysterious deaths. Susan also reveals that since the children were born, there have been more than 30 cases of suicide reported. This worsens when Susan informs Alan that not only Midwich but some other small isolated villages in Europe or Asians experienced the same phenomenon. People fall into blackout, simultaneous pregnancy and superpower, psychic children born. The CIA also got involved in the investigation, and there is one possibility that the children are used for genetic hosts from aliens who attempt to synchronize the world. After that, Susan takes Alan to her secret lab. He is shocked at the sample, which turns out to be the stillborn baby whose face looks like an alien. Susan then reminds Alan about the psychic ability of the children. She warns him not to let them know what he has in men. Alan becomes mad at Susan for hiding the children. Alan wants to help her by continuing the project to reduce the danger from the children. However, Alan abandoned Susan and drives off. At home, Mara warns Alan not to destroy the group as it only makes the situation worse. Nobody can stop or hurt them now. Mara also informs Alan that the children would move to the local barn, begin living there. Learning from what Susan said earlier, Alan tries not to let Marcy his mind Alan then sadly returns to his room. Later, the children arrived at the barn one by one during the night. David is not an exception. Jill advises him not to join the group, as David is different from the rest of them. However, David says that he has left no choice in this situation and gets out of the car. The following day, a man drives to the barn to look for his daughter, who is one of the children. However, when he insists on taking the girl home, the kids start to control him. He is forced to get back to his car. The man then drives to a fuel tank, causing a massive explosion. After that, Susan rushes to Alan to let him know about the government plans with the children. The military will arrive soon to destroy the children at all costs, even razing the town for that. The locals have to pack up and leave the village as soon as possible. At night, Alan comes to the barn and talks with the children as he can't convince the children to give up their cruelty. He realizes that there is no point in saving their lives. He covers his mind by imagining the ocean. Preventing Mara from reading is thinking. The following day, Mara talks with David about his sympathy, which is not allowed to develop in the colony. Meanwhile, the town pastor attempts to shoot Moore in the head with his gun. However, his action is caught by the other 4 children. The man ends up opening fire on his throat by himself. The death of the pastor raises the anger around the town. People start to hunt for the children in the night. As they face some of the children on the way, a woman starts to rage or anger over their evil crime. She is then controlled and burns herself to death. Meanwhile, Susan runs in with the children, but she tries to hide her thought about the upcoming government plan. Has the trio enter Susan's lab. David finally gets to see his girl partner. David starts to cry, feeling sorry for the baby's death. Mara again uses her power, making Susan lie on the dissection table and kill herself with a scalpel. During that time, Alan has prepared a box of dynamite in his car to get rid of the evil children. The state police and military also arrive in town as planned. Alan arrives at the school to see Jill, telling her about how to stop the children. However, Alan wants to conduct the plan alone, so he locks Jill inside before leaving. Jill begged not to hurt David as he is different from others. Later, then a police car arrives at the barn. Mara and the other children begin to control the police officer, making him shoot other coming cars. The policemen start to massacre each other, turning the town into chaos. David, however, stays inside of the barn and is scared of what his friends are doing. Meanwhile, Jill also breaks the door, driving to the barn to save David. Alan also arrives at the barn for his lesson as usual in order to get rid of the evil children. Alan makes a plan in which a briefcase containing dynamite will be set up in the children's classroom, as Jill has begged Alan to save David. Alan tries to do this by asking David to leave the classroom by getting books from his car. However, Mara can see his strange actions. The children starts to investigate Alan by reading his mind. At that moment, Jill arrives, but the children want to hurt her. David is very angry and rushes to knock the barn down by thinking of a brick wall. Alan is able to create a psychological barrier to keep children unaware of the existence of the bomb. Alan told Jill to rush and bring David outside before the bomb explodes. However, the children break through Alan's mind, but it is already too late. The bomb explodes, destroying the barn and killing everyone, including Alan. Jill and David survive after the explosion. In the last scene, Jill tells David they would move to a place where no one can hurt him. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and comment on which movie would you like to see next.